In the heart of a desolate village, an old scarecrow stood in a withered field. It was a relic from a bygone era, with a tattered straw hat and a coat that had seen better days. No one remembered who had made it, or why it was still there, but it seemed to be a permanent fixture. Watching over the empty land with hollow button eyes, the villagers whispered that the scarecrow was cursed. They told tales of how it had once been a man who practiced dark magic. He was said to have been transformed into a scarecrow by a vengeful spirit. The scarecrow's gaze was said to follow anyone who dared to enter the field, and the air around it was always colder than the rest of the village. One autumn evening, a young woman named Clara, new to the village, ventured into the field. She had heard the stories but dismissed them as superstitions. As she approached the scarecrow, a chill ran down her spine, though she tried to shake it off. The scarecrow seemed different up close. Its button eyes glinted in the dying light, and Clara thought she saw a flicker of movement in them. The straw around its limbs seemed to shift slightly, almost as if it was stretching. Clara tried to ignore the creeping unease and took a few photographs. As she was about to leave, the wind picked up and the scarecrow's coat flapped violently. She heard a faint whisper, barely audible but unmistakably clear, "Stay with me." She spun around, but the field was empty. Her heart pounded as she hurried back to the village, the whisper echoing in her mind. That night, Clara couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the scarecrow's eyes watching her, unblinking and unyielding. At dawn, she decided to leave the village and never return, but as she packed her belongings, a cold hand brushed against her shoulder. She spun around to find herself face to face with the scarecrow, its button eyes glowing with a malevolent light. The scarecrow was no longer just a figure in the field. It was now moving, its straw limbs stretching and bending in unnatural ways. Clara screamed and ran, but the scarecrow followed, its movements unnervingly quick. The village was silent as she fled, the buildings seeming to watch her with their darkened windows. Clara never left the village. The scarecrow remains in the field, its button eyes forever locked on the horizon, waiting for the next curious soul to come too close. Some say you can still hear Clara's screams on windless nights, and the scarecrow's gaze remains as chilling as ever, a silent reminder of the curse that binds it.